this fractured mind. Echoes in the hole, they call my name. Shadows dance in crooked flame. Memories twist like rusted wire. Every door hides something dire. Faces blur in static screams. Truth is stitched between the seams. Blood runs cold, the walls decay. The past won't die, it just obeys. Echoes in the hall, they beg me back. Chained to guilt, the world turns black. Keys won't save, the light won't last. I'm just a ghost who haunts the past. I see your eyes, were they ever real? Time peels back like crumbling steel. Every breath is just pretend. This house remembers how it ends. Echoes in the hall, no place to run. The trauma wakes when day is done. One last door, one final scream. What if none of this was ever a dream? Whispers crawl beneath the skin. Truth is wrong where lies begin. Eyes that bloom behind the veil. Dreams decay and voices wail. Beneath the black it waits for me. 1,000 eyes beneath the sea. Madness hums in every breath. A lullaby from living death. Sigils burn behind the glass. Time runs backward, shadows pass. Skies collapse and oceans rise. Something ancient cracks the skies. Beneath the black it waits for me, calling from eternity. No God, no light, no final plea. Only claws and memory. Stars align, the gates unlock. Flesh turns cold and minds are shocked. The void will sing, the stars will fall, and I will answer when it calls. Beneath the black I hear the sound of writhing things beneath the ground.
shadows crawling up the walls. Cursed blood, a silent vow. I wear the name, they fear it now.
Footsteps echo, spirits wake. Ancient powers start to quake. Eyes alive with demon fire. Truth revealed in funeral pyre. Steel and faith, my only guide. Marching where the devils hide. In this night I stand alone, a summoner against the unknown. Summoner in the shadows, I raise my blade, never bow. Tokyo cries and fate will follow. Rain down lives here and now. Mystic runes, forbidden arts, old gods hunger in the dark. Allies lost, but spirits linger, calling doom with every finger. Bound by oath, a twisted deal, justice forged from ghostly steel. No surrender, no retreat, I am vengeance in the streets. Steel and faith, my only guide. Marching where the devils hide. Through the storm I carve my path. Let the world behold my wrath. Summoner in the shadows, I raise my blade, never bow. Tokyo cries and fate will follow. Rain down lives here and now.
Demons gather, chaos reigns, light and darkness in my veins. Whispers taunt me, but I know only one will break the flow. Summon the night, let it ignite. Demons to fight, stand for what's right. History's burden, future unknown. Rage arises, claimed by his throne.
Summoner in the shadows, I raise my blade, never bow. Tokyo cries and fate will follow. Rain down lives here and now.
Let the devils hear my name. Rain down. Let the darkness fear my flame. Rain down.
Beneath the cracked and silver moon, the empty streets begin to croon a lullaby for those who roam. But every shadow leads you home. Windows blink with eyes unseen, fingers tapping on the screen. Whispers drift through haunted halls. Who will answer when night calls? Shadows whisper, don't you run. Every nightmare has begun. Candles flicker, walls grow thin. Let the darkness crawl within. Footsteps echo down the stair. You swear you're not alone in there. A fleeting face, a smile too wide. What secrets do the mirrors puts you to sleep. Stitch, I come undone. Skin unwinds beneath the sun. Fingers blooming into eyes. Mouths that whisper, spines that writhe. Mirror cracks, reflections crawl. Bones remember every fall. Underneath the flesh and fear, something hungry's waking here.
Doing tonight. Hello. So, we are here today. We're gonna do something a little bit special. Well, actually, it's not gonna be special. It's gonna be the new way I do this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna react to something first. I'm gonna open it with a reaction video of some kind. Then I'm gonna clip that out, make it a normal video that everyone can see. And what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to play, well, for right now, radio. So that is what I have planned for today. So for what, this one actually is like really personal to me, because this is a video about my town that I live in, Bangor. Well, the city I live in, I guess. The homelessness issue is getting out of hand here, and people don't seem to realize that how prevalent it is. And so I figured I saw this video and I was like, you know what, I can talk about this. So I'm reacting to a video that's probably not reacted to very often, but I'm going to. And if you're local to me, then you know this too. Not that I do have some Bible verses I do plan on using in this. But anyways, let's look at this video. It's called it's by Nate Thean. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, man. You can beat me up later. Unhoused in Bangor, a documentary on homelessness in Maine. So I just wanted to I just wanted to react to this because this is really personal to me. And I think being a local, and especially a local that volunteers for, all kinds of different things around here. I interact with homeless people, my perspective on this, I feel like I actually have a legit perspective. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this, because I know a lot of these people he's interviewing. I've met them, and I'm very familiar with them. A matter of fact, a lot of the buildings and places and stuff like that, I'm very familiar with too. So, anyways, this is local. So, without further ado, this is where I can begin my video. So we will. Okay. if you guys want to go to that website.
Welcome to Bangor, the third largest city in the state of Maine. Here, the struggles of the unhoused are apparent, with the reluctant use of COVID relief funds, dangerous encampment sweeps, and seemingly no plan to handle this crisis. Bangor citizens are wondering if the city is even taking this issue seriously. Lack of housing, mental health and disability, and substance abuse seems to be contributing to the crisis. I spoke to different voices to see the issue in full detail. Doug Dunbar of the nonprofit Penobscot County Cares, Terry Dinkins of the Mansion Church, which hosts warming centers in the wintertime, and Joseph Leonard, a member of the Bangor City Council. My goal was to gather a narrative of the issues at hand, aiming to raise awareness about a crisis unfolding right here in Bangor, Maine.
Okay, so what we have here, obviously, he's just laid out what he's going to do. Now, I'm not gonna push under any of these people under the bus, but you have to be aware that there's a lot of grifting that goes into this stuff. And what I mean by that is there are people that are collecting, some of these people that they mentioned collect salaries of over $100,000 a year. And they justify it by helping certain people. And I'm just going to say that, well, you know what? I'm not even going to say that because I don't know how much they make. I just know from other people, I don't know how much specifically any of these men make. But I'm going to assume it's a lot because I have knowledge of other people making a very exorbitant amount. And I know these people, they vacation all over the place. And yeah. So just starting off the bat, I'm, you know, it worries me when I see certain people. I'll just put it that way.
It's a tough time to find affordable housing.
Spring of 2020, most of the shelters shut down.
When you don't have anybody in your corner, it's hard to want to
But the
continue
bottom line is, we don't have enough places for people to go.
This is something that not a lot.
And by the way, these homeless encampments are very large. And like, I mean, they're very large and they set up in places that are not necessarily good. And a lot of the homeless in this area don't want homes and they don't want food. They want money. And when you try to give them money, it's because they have an addiction to things. And it's just really bad. I've seen people get food and they throw it in the ditch because somebody brought them McDonald's or something like that. Because these people that are out there standing by the Home Depot or whatever, trying to get money from people, they don't want things, you know. They grift on that. A matter of fact, there was one guy that was saying, well, I'm going to buy a house. And he got all this money, right? Like way more than what he needed. And he bought 2 houses with it. And he moved out of the area. But I remember this article being in the Bangor Daily about this guy. And it was horrible stuff. But anyways, that's beside the point. Some of these people, they make this is a living for them. This is their job. It's to busk and ask for money. It's not even busking, because busking, you're actually like playing guitar or something like that. These people just literally sit there with a sign saying, "Feed me, I'm hungry," and then people throw money at them.
People can do. Not a lot of people can survive this. Not a lot of people can fathom a quarter of the things. You know, you want to put yourself in my shoes and see how you fare.
Well, there we go. His name's Nathan Fiona Nafam. So there you are.
But we really do a lot of work with the homeless in our city, those who are getting out of incarceration, those who may have addictions. We have a warming center here. every night during the winter. We have food for the homeless, we have clothes. There's a difference between a shelter and a warming center. A shelter, you're able to sleep with a cot or a bed. We are not geared up for that. We're a warming center. The capacity for the warming center is...
And you have to understand too, a lot of other states might not understand this, but Maine gets very, very cold in the winter. Temperatures can be anywhere below, 0 quite often. So having a warming center is kind of important for homeless people.
25 to 30, right in that number there. It's hard to turn people away if it's 10 below 0, so we probably make some adaptations to that. These first 2 weeks, we've had 87 people. They've looked at the rules, signed off on the rules that we have. Maybe they just stayed for one night, or they stayed a few nights, but that many so far this year, which I think is a higher number than we had last year. We've been seeing an increase, I think, over the years. One of the things is COVID, and that's the reason we actually opened the building as a warming center. Spring of 2020, most of the shelters shut down. And I had some folks come to me and say, well, what do you think about opening our building up as a warming center? And this was in March.
Right. The shelters shut down. And mind you, the shelters are pretty much opened by the government. The government pays for most of the stuff inside most of the shelters. They also collect local funds. But a lot of it's a grift on the government. The shelters are not necessarily good places to go. Not that they're bad necessarily, but you have a lot of dangerous people around you. It never probably used to be like that, but I do know that with the immigrant, how do I put it? The immigrant structure that we have right now, that can be an issue. Also, because you got to remember that, like, yes, Mexico has a lot of immigrants that come up from Mexico, but we also get a lot of illegals that come down from Canada. They fly into Canada and they come down from there and they stay here. And I don't know why people create these spaces for them, because, like, I'm not against being homeless and stuff like that. Like, if you have things that happen to you, like, yeah, that sucks. Let's get you a good job, stuff like that. Something you can do, a place to stay, But a lot of these shelters, they're not, like, set up like that. For instance, we have the Bangor homeless shelter. It's right across the street from the police station, and right across there is a park. Now, if you want to get drugs in this area, you go to that park. There's so much drug stuff that goes on in that park. So many people that deal drugs. It's near First Street. And so you have, like, a huge drug problem. And so you have homeless people, and then you have addicts. And the addicts are really the big problem. They steal, like, if you're to drive downtown Bangor and, like, have your windows down in your car and stuff like that, they could actually, like, take stuff from you, and that's messed up. And it never used to be like that. If I lived in Bangor, it's very sad, because we used to have literally one of the safest cities in Maine. Sometimes it was not Maine, in the country. Like, we had this, like, on top 10 lists. Sometimes we're even number 1 safest place in Maine. And when that started getting out there that we were so safe, all the homeless came in. And, like, we have a casino that opened up, and once again, you have people that are addicts to gambling, or they're addicts of drugs, and there's just a lot of nasty stuff that's going on that's really hurting our state and my local area, Penobscot County. It's hurt a lot, and it's sad.
2020, so it was still chilly, And we went to the city to get their blessing upon that to become a warming center for the city. So we were open for 3 months that first time. That was because of COVID. And we've been open every winter since. So we're here, it's about 150 some days. We're here every night for the people to come out off the streets to stay warm. When COVID first hit, we would take their temperatures before they come in the building. And I can remember last year we had some people at 89 degrees. That was very common to find people between 89 and 91 degrees. That's the reason we're here to help people and to show them that we care and God cares also for them.
Affordable housing is much on the mind.
So there's also the cross between because there's I don't like the argument that Christians are supposed to help everyone. Because sometimes when you help somebody, you're actually not helping them. There's plenty of times in the Bible, for instance, we have 2 Thessalonians 3:10. For even when we were with you, we would give you this command. If anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. The issue with homelessness a lot of times is people just don't want to work. And that's an issue. Like, you can't expect to have things done for you if you're not willing to work. And I'm not talking about disabled people, and I'm not talking about people that are, they have some sort of limiting ability. And I'm definitely not talking about kids, because kids shouldn't have to work.
Minds of many people who are trying to find a place to call home.
According to a national online marketplace, Maine's rental prices have increased 39% in the past 2 years. The state's median rental price in February of 2020.
And also, you guys can thank Biden for that, because Biden ruined the economy. Absolutely ruined it.
Was $855 a month. But just last month, that median price almost $1,200, an increase of more than $300 a month.
Right now, the state has a need.
And also, I have friends that literally told me that their rent was increasing recently. And they had a rent increase already once this year. So, like, literally within months of each other, they're increasing the rent. And it's wild how expensive housing is. I don't know when this was filmed, but it's messed up. It is.
For 84,000 new homes to be constructed by 2030. Vacancy rates are very, very low. Rents have gone so incredibly costly.
Like, we have a gentleman here now that just got evicted from his apartment because of his rent going up too high. A couple years ago, our rent might have been $750. Today, it's $1,300 or $1,400. But now, since it's gone up so much, they can't afford it.
Let's take our firefighters, for example. Starting wage for a firefighter in Bangor is $19 an hour. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, that's unsustainable. That is incredibly dangerous. So what does that mean for the most...
Well, okay, hold on. So what they're not saying in here is that minimum wage in Bangor, I do believe it's $15 now. It might be over the entire state of Maine, but I do believe in Bangor it's $15. When you raise wages like that, you're going to create... If you, let's say you're a firefighter that's making $19 an hour, right? And minimum wage increases, but you're still making $19 an hour, right? So when that was around, we wages, when I was in, I don't know how old I was, but a few years ago, not very long ago, the minimum wage in Maine was like $7.50 or something like that. $7 and something cents, right? And when you were making $19, that's literally like, 3 times almost what people were making. So like that's okay. But the problem is that when they keep raising the minimum wage, they don't raise everyone else's wage. Like, if everyone's wage increased with minimum wage increases, that wouldn't be so bad. But the problem is you get caught in this loop. Like, for instance, when I was working in not McDonald's, in New Mexico, right? I got hired at a job and I was a barista. And every time my raise time would come in, I would get a raise of, like, whatever it was, and then minimum wage would increase. And so I was making minimum wage again. And this happened for like 3 years. And New Mexico, like, they kept raising the minimum wage. And so when you do it in spots like that, everyone's making minimum wage, like, all the time. And once again, that's nuts, So, like, my experience and my time that I put in there I was never given any increased pay. Granted, I made a lot of tips, so I didn't really have to worry about it much. But I wasn't making, an increased amount. And, like, granted, it wasn't a problem because New Mexico was really cheap to live in. I don't know about now, but everywhere's gotten expensive.
Underprivileged in society.
When I first met my fiance, she had an apartment and I moved in with her. Fortunately, she was evicted. She was embarrassed, so she didn't want to say anything to me. But I couldn't come up with the funding to help pay the rent that was still left over. And then after that, I stuck it out with her, and I didn't want to leave her high and dry. So we went from the apartment to couch surfing with friends, and I felt like we were kind of overstaying our welcome, so I took the initiative to leave.
The foundational aspect of all of these things is housing. You and I have shelter. We are able to think a few weeks down the road, maybe even a couple of months down the road. With people who are houseless and are on the streets, every meal has to be planned.
A lot of these folks are on disability, so Social Security, and their checks will be $700, $800, $900, and that was enough to cover their rent. And the Social Security, of course, has not jumped to $1,400 or $1,500 to cover the rent now.
You just need to consider that housing has to.
That's another thing. People on Social Security get screwed a lot by rent increases and wage increases, because Social Security, unfortunately, does not keep up with our inflation rate. And so if you're on Social Security, you're going to be making less money year after year after year. It appears as if when they give you a raise, yeah, it's all good. But when you actually consider the inflation rate with your currency, it's worse. You're making less. So if any of you were, like, out there trying to think of, like, ways to get on, some type of government assistance or something like that, you should probably consider not doing that, because working a normal 9 to 5, trust me, it's a lot better than being on any type of government assistance. If you can support yourself, that's so much better than needing to wait for a check to come from the government. I'm telling you, I know a lot of people that have gone through that, and it's very hard. People make a lot less in the run of their lifetime on any type of assistance. If you're because you have to be below income guidelines, and if you were to earn any type of extra money, you have to write that down, and so, like, it becomes very hard to live like that. Yeah.
To be a human right. At one point, there were 80 children in the Bangor school system that were utilizing services. We're just ruining a life if we don't come in and save the child. And if they have parents and family that they're living with, that means saving the family as well.
Okay, here's where I deviate from this a little bit. So, I agree with that, but a lot of people with low income people, have these vices, be it alcohol, be it drugs, be it sugar, be it gambling, be it scratch tickets, something like that. People will spend every cent they have on whatever vice that they choose, you know? For instance, the methadone clinics. The methadone clinic is a perfect example of this. We have a methadone clinic in Bangor, and people will go to the methadone clinic to get methadone, and they abuse it. They abuse it because not only do they use the methadone, but they also take it with their other drugs to get a better high. And that's crazy. But because we handed them this, and also the Narcan situation, oh my gosh, it's crazy too. Because we use Narcan on anyone that needs it. You know, we don't have a policy of, well, you know, you used Narcan, you know, 3 times or something like in a single week. We don't have a policy of, no, we're not going to use them. Clearly they want to die. You know, we'll just keep using Narcan on those people. And I'm sorry, but like, I understand addiction's hard to get over with, but at some point in time, you need to take some, I don't know. You need to take some responsibility for yourself. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And so when you're not taking responsibility for yourself and you're just letting yourself literally die, you're literally killing yourself. You're just doing it slowly. No, we should not be throwing, you know, a couple $100,000 of Narcan in someone's veins and then say, oh, well, at least they didn't die. I'm sorry, man, but if you're trying to kill yourself, like, that's what's going to happen eventually. Like, they're just not going to, they're not going to save you. You know? That'd be like somebody committing, well, you know what? It's true. If someone were to commit suicide or try to commit suicide, like hanging or something like that, and they keep screwing up, eventually they're going to get it right. And it's the same thing with Narcan. I mean, if you keep giving somebody Narcan, eventually they're going to die. You know, whether or not you're going to give them Narcan or not, because their body just can't handle it. And unfortunately, we keep, like, if you're suicidal and you want to die, like, if something like that is going on, I'm sorry, that's a problem. Like, instead of addressing the mental health issue and the spiritual issue, because let's face it, a lot of people that don't have hope do drugs in order to not look at whatever is going on around them. And especially when you're buzzed out of your mind, you know? Like, the majority of Americans use prescription drugs, and they think that's fine because they take some psychological drug and help with their depression or whatever. And like, if you have depression, you need to find out why you have depression, not that you have depression so you need to take drugs for it. Like, you got to find out what that issue is, because I guarantee you it's an issue in your life. The majority of people do not have chemical depression. They have situational depression. And there is a completely different way to treat that than allowing yourself to sit with something like that. And unfortunately, all they do is they dull the pain, you know, or they don't make you feel the pain. And unfortunately, if you keep living like that, you're going to become a husk. It's going to hollow you out, like, either internally or spiritually. Okay, this one's disability. So let's talk a bit about this.
Parasitic bacterial fleshing infection to my left arm due to a work accident, and almost cost me my arm and my life, and also put me out of work for quite a period of time. So I was unable to, help pay bills and things. So we leaned totally on her income, which isn't much because she's on some disability.
People at encampments oftentimes have been traumatized in their life.
If you have a mental health condition, that is a hurdle for even someone who is not houseless. When you are someone that doesn't have a home, you are in a state of being in constant survival mode, and that actually can further cause mental health breaks or other stressors, panic attacks. They're actually at risk personally to being abused or being assaulted or
Yep, they are.
being negatively impacted in some way, shape, or form.
Struggling is not something that I do well, but it's something.
There has to be a struggle to be homeless and be in that situation, especially with the type of homeless people that have moved into this area. Like, for a normal person to be in that, I mean, have to be on their toes all the time, because it used to be that people would be friendly with each other and stuff like that and have these encampments. But then other people started moving up here, and the culture of homelessness in the area has changed. And I've seen it change very quickly. Instead of people wanting to help each other and stuff like that, they steal from each other. And it's not like the old homeless that were here before in Maine, they wouldn't necessarily steal. The new people that have come up here and came into the area, they will steal. And that's really messed up. So, like, homeless people have to guard whatever little they have in this area. And that's really sad to see. You see needles all over the place too. So, like, not only are they being robbed, they're getting assaulted by people that are drunk or high or whatever. And of course, the cops can't do anything about it because they go to the methadone clinic. And so a lot of this problem has been started by the druggies.
That I've learned to adapt to, unfortunately.
And also, they have to self-medicate. Like, what this guy's talking about right here. Like, unfortunately, they self-medicate to escape these issues. And then you got another person that's on drugs, and eventually they have to be able to afford the drugs and, you know, all this. And then once again, they become one of those people too. And it's so sick, because this all could have been prevented if they just didn't have the government set up and the way that the economy went. Because the economy went sour because of what Democrats did. And I'm not even going to say Democrats, because it's Republicans' fault too. You know? What they did, they soured our entire economy. And it makes me sick when I see the downtown people having all these weird parades and stuff like that. We've already talked about some of them. And meanwhile, there are these people in this area that do need help and they need shelter. But then there's also people that want to grift off this, and they use homelessness as a grift. And some of these people aren't even homeless. They act like they're homeless. And then they go back to their house with their huge, pot of money that they collected for the day. And it's so messed up. Actually, the other day I was on, I forget what street I was on, but it's right by the exit of the highway and near the mall, the Bangor Mall. So there was these homeless people, or I'm assuming they were homeless, but like two of them were yelling at each other, right? And then there was this other guy on another corner, and he was saying like, "Oh, he stole my corner. He stole my corner." And it's just like, when you are fighting over stuff like that, you need to be looking for a job to work. You don't need to be standing by a corner begging for money. Like, honestly. And like, I feel bad for this guy. I really do. Because having a disability where you can't get, you can't get work, like that must be really tough. But at the same time, there is work you can do that doesn't necessarily require you to use your arm. There's plenty of jobs out there.
But the struggle is real.
Mental health.
And also, he never really said if he got cured of that. Like, you can get flesh-eating bacteria from a lot of different things. And a lot of people do have that. And that sucks that it happened. But like, did you medically get that taken care of? And if you did, then why aren't you working now?
Health affects all of us, regardless if a person suffers from mental health and they're homeless or not. And that just is a grander healthcare question. We just need more access to publicly available healthcare.
This is something that not a lot of people can do. Not a lot of people can survive this. Not a lot of people can even fathom a quarter of the things that people here go through on a daily basis.
Okay. Fathom a quarter of the things that people go through here on a daily basis. What things do you think he's talking about? You think he's talking about just getting food and stuff like that? Because there's plenty of places that give out food. Like, food's not an issue. Are you talking about maybe the other people around you? Maybe it might be dangerous? Just saying. Substance abuse. Perfect. This is mostly what I've been talking about.
So far this year, there have been 266 overdose deaths in Maine.
We're learning tonight the Maine Department of Public Safety is getting some money to help combat the opioid crisis in Maine.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild.
It's coming from the Department of Justice and its anti-heroin task force program.
Someone who suffers from substance abuse, it's next to impossible to get out of that substance abuse and poverty if you don't have a shelter.
Instead of coming in and be warm, we've had people that would resist coming in because of the rules we have. You can't bring in drugs or needles or alcohol or weapons or anything like that. And they just don't want to give those items up, so they will stay out because of that. We have people that will come in that's high or inebriated. We kind of check them at the door to see how they're handling that. Some people admit to it, but if they're not causing any issues, we'll give them a chance. Sometimes that comes back to get us. You know, people will, once they get to the door and they get settled in and they are high or drunk, that could become an issue, which it has in the past. Someone that's inebriated really bad, you know, if you turn them away, they could just fall into a snowbank and freeze to death. So that's a very much of a concern of mine.
With substance abuse.
I agree. That is a concern. But at the same time, you have to give those people responsibility for the choices that they made to be in that situation. It's unfortunate, and like, your heart goes out to them, especially when they're in that, but they did that to themselves. It's like drunk driving. Like, I'm sorry, but if people took drunk driving really seriously, there'd be the death penalty if you get caught drunk driving. Any bit. Because your car is a deadly weapon, and we hear the stories after another. Some drunk driver was drunk and they drove and they killed somebody. It happens all the damn time. And instead of having an actual level head about drunk driving and doing what we should do, which is executing them, you know, not jailing them, executing them, we don't. Granted, we have a 3 strikes rule here, and they take your license away. So
that is really a nefarious thing to work with, because it completely changes the chemical balance of one's mind. When someone's assisting someone who is houseless, that has a mind that becomes so reliant on a substance, you can have a great session with someone that has substance abuse, and the next day they can just fall apart.
Fresh Start Sober Living provides safe and affordable housing for people in recovery right now.
An organization that has 13 homes in Bangor and Brewer for people in active recovery. Between the organization's 13 houses, it offers 102 beds. Its general manager saying the average stay is about 110 days.
There have been so many people that have gone through the Fresh Start program that are now back into the workforce. This model basically allowed people the safety and the compassion and the well-being to be self-reflective and to start that healing of that trauma and start that growth. It just goes to show that if we're going to approach solving the houseless crisis, the housing crisis, the homeless crisis, the substance abuse crisis, the foundational aspect of all of these things is housing.
Yeah, homelessness too. Like one of the biggest causes of it is drugs. If you are that type of person that gets on drugs, you're very dangerous and volatile to be. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And I'm not talking like cocaine or something like that. You know, there's crackheads and coke heads and stuff like that that work on Wall Street. I'm talking about people that use like really heavy drugs. You know, granted, I consider that heavy drug too, but not stimulant so much.
Yeah, we are at an empty lot, but the reason it's empty is because a really horrific fire took place here December 6th of 2021. 3 individuals who had been experiencing homelessness took up residence in an abandoned building. The doors and the windows, most of them were boarded up. It was clearly an abandoned house, but they had been asked to move along from an encampment, and they found refuge here. And 2 other individuals are here, but 3 people died in just a terrible, terrible fire, December 6, 2021. There was a concern that if there was an emergency, particularly during the winter, they might not be able to get to them with a vehicle. But instead of making sure that people had all the resources that they needed and a place to go, they were ultimately just moved along.
When it comes to sweeps in general, they don't work. This has been proven time and time again that sweeps do not work. The UCLA is starting to really come down on sweeps more.
Sweeps don't work because you don't get rid of the homelessness issue. They're absolutely right. It does not get rid of the problem. It just moves it along to someplace else.
If we go in and sweep an encampment, what happens is people from that encampment might feel afraid because they no longer feel comfortable in the place that they considered their home dwelling. And what does happen is we spread out the amount of people who are in these encampments.
It seemed as though the city of Bangor had a new approach. We're going to take our time. We're going to get to know the people. We're going to be patient. We're going to build trust. We're going to make sure that we get all of them access to housing before we close that encampment. I mean,
yeah, but see, there's been plenty of homeless people, especially I've been told by plenty of people that they don't want a house. They don't want to live. They like living the homeless lifestyle. They like that. They enjoy it. And they enjoy the fact that they don't have to work. Like, I can't express this enough for you. The reason why homelessness exists is not because there is a lack of homes or places to live. That's not why. Like, yeah, like all kinds of these people want to tell you that, but it's not, because they actually enjoy living homelessly. Now, granted, when it's winter and it's 10 below, I'm sure everyone wants to live somewhere. But normally they come up here for the summer and they go away for the winter, you know? And unfortunately, it creates a weird culture of movement. I've been places and I've seen graffiti telling people to go to Maine, because especially Bangor. I mean, it listed it specifically. And this was an area that was nowhere near Bangor, but it had all kinds of different stuff and it was graffiti. And I was like, what the hell? Why is that here? You know, and somebody explained to me, because a lot of the homeless people, they come through this area and they go up to that place in the summertime, you know, up to Maine in the summertime, Bangor. And it's absolutely wild.
Clearly, that's a much better approach. There was hope that that was the new strategy. All of a sudden, one Monday, at the encampment behind Hope House, posters were put up. They got to be out by Friday.
The Hope House, I have issues with the Hope House.
But not everybody has to be out. We'll put an X on your tent if you can stay, and then people didn't know, did the X mean I have to leave by Friday, or does that mean I'm good and I can stay longer? All of a sudden we were back to, you just gotta move along. And the city at first said, that the people being asked to move along were folks who were not engaging with the outreach workers. And then we heard that, well, some people were being asked to move because maybe they were a danger, they were causing problems, they were troublemakers.
There's people that just showed up a couple weeks ago, or whatever. Those people, unfortunately, haven't been engaged in this process long enough to be able to stay. So now where are they going to go? You know where they're going to go? They're going to go stay somewhere. They're going to get a criminal trespassing thing, and then they're going to have to go to fucking court. And if they go back to that area, they're going to go to jail. So now they're putting people's freedom at risk because they're kicking people out of here who should be here in the first place. Yeah. Bangor doesn't want us anywhere else.
It's still unclear why people were asked to move, how many people were asked to move. Problem with that is there are dozens and dozens of people still there, and hundreds around this region who are engaging with caseworkers, who are engaging with outreach workers, who don't have a place to go. In my opinion, and other people's opinion, why boot people out of an encampment where you know where they are, even if they haven't started to engage yet, when you've got lots of work to do with the people who are engaging? We don't have housing for those people. We reverted back to, got to move along. Organizations oppose and are critical of sweeps unless you meet certain criteria. And that was not met behind the Hope House, and it was not met, tragically, when folks moved here and died.
Police are on the front lines.
Yeah, but why did the fire happen? See, he doesn't want to talk about that. And why did the fire start? Maybe you should ask yourself why. Look it up.
Of the entire houseless issue. At the apex of this crisis, 50% of their time, police work, is dealt with handling people who are in this the spectrum of poverty. When police operate something like that, that's not them coming up with that decision. That decision was made by people that have instructed our police officers to do those functions.
Yes.
Why make us leave here? Because, you know, and the other thing is, you know, I look at it again with numbers, the quota for the jail. The cops have to meet a quota of arrests.
That's right.
Well, if they meet the quota of arrests because they've got these homeless people placed where they're not supposed to be, that helps their numbers, which is bullshit. But at the same time, I know how the game is played. It's dirty. So, like, there's certain people here who don't even know that the CS people are here or what they do.
Yeah. Study after study after study, ample research that says you do not sweep people away from encampments. And there are best practices and there are worst practices. But when you just put up signs and say, get out by Friday, it's traumatizing.
Okay, what do you notice here? All right, what do you notice? You notice litter and all kinds of junk just throwing around. You know, people find needles and stuff like that at these homeless encampments and all around these areas. And it's not like these areas are, they don't show where these areas are. These are quite public areas. This one's down by a river. Like, I understand they need some place to go, stuff like that, but there is a lot of these homeless people that like being homeless. They like this lifestyle. And they want to be homeless. And unfortunately, like you said, some of them didn't want to interact with the workers and stuff like that, like they were saying in the video. And there's a reason for that. It's because they enjoy being homeless. And I can't stress that enough, because some of these people are not victims. Some of them are. Some of them are victims completely. And unfortunately, there's so many non-victims that are amongst these people, it's hard to tell who is who. And it's hard to tell, too, who is grifting for something. Like, they want stuff. Like, they enjoy being homeless, but they want to beg and, like, plead and stuff like they don't like it. And there's people that are genuinely trying to look for help. And I think the people that are genuinely looking for help we need to help them as much as possible. Like, if you want someplace to go, like, we should provide that. We should provide them showers and stuff like that and get them ready for a job. A matter of fact, there should be something for them to do. Like, I myself, I would really love it if Bangor or some type of government agency could work something out with different people that need work done and have them work for it. You know, that would be great. And then they could have shelter and stuff like that. You know, they work and they it's like a get started plan, you know? Like, you could have rent and they could learn how to make money and stuff like that. And then they can get them off the drugs and you can just rehabilitate them and like provide them a job. Like, if they need a job, you know, and sometimes it's attitude problems too. Like, so many people like that are saying that they're homeless and stuff. A lot of them have an attitude problem. And we're just supposed to accept it. Like, sometimes you just gotta you have a good attitude, you know? Sometimes you gotta learn, and like, if you're gonna have an attitude all the time and like be all stuck up and stuff like that, yeah, you're not gonna have a job. And it's really sad for you. But like, you gotta sometimes pull yourself up. And I mean, I know so many people hear that. And I don't mean like pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all that junk. I just mean sometimes you have to take responsibility for what happens in your life. And like it or not, whatever's happening to you is sometimes what is happening to you. And I know I sound like a jerk when I'm saying this, but like, I'm being honest with you. If you don't have work, like, I used to be an artist. And whenever I needed money, I would do commissions. You know, I have a talent that you can do stuff like that with. When I needed to write and stuff like that, you know, I would write stories for people, or I would edit for them, or I would draw pictures for them, or, you know, I'd do a number of different things. Like, I have talents that I learned how to do on my side job, you know, on the side. And that provided me money. Like, yeah, it was really hard when I was living in New Mexico. I was paying for my girlfriend's college. I had to pay for my own college, and I had to work a job at night, you know, when I was going in New Mexico. And it was rough. But I did it, you know, and I had no free time, but you do what you have to do sometimes, you know? I don't know. It's frustrating sometimes.
I don't think we
like look at this. See, this is what I'm talking about. All that is all just junk. People need to pick up their damn trash. And see, what they do is they leave it there. They let it pile up. And then you get rats and things like that go out there, and it's just like horrible. You know? Like, that's messed up.
As the wealthiest nation in the history of the world, to continue to allow millions of Americans to be vulnerable to the elements and vulnerable to not having affordable housing in some way, shape, or form. That should never be something that comes to mind when someone's trying to find ways to cut costs in their life. Gen Z.
How about you donate some of your wage that you get paid, and you help one of these people if you want to be altruistic, and you provide for them? How about that? You're the one talking about it. Now do it. See, that's the problem with these people. They want to say, we got to do this. We got to do this. Government, give us more money. Government, give us more money. And it just makes the problem worse. Like what the Mansion Church is doing. Great thing, you know, that they have a warming station. They have great rules and stuff like that. But then you get this guy that's talking and stuff. Now, I don't know how much he donates, you know? I don't know. But it's sensible. Yes, he does make a lot of sense. But if you're not willing to put out your money for something, and like, once again, I will admit, I don't know if he does or not, but I'm just saying, if you are not willing to put out your money for something like this, and you keep talking about these issues, you need to be willing to put out your time and your money. Now, granted, I'm thinking he probably does spend some time doing this. He's part of the town council, you know? But at the same time, I'm annoyed by all these politicians and people like that speaking, and they keep saying, oh, the government, the money, the money, the money. Well, yeah, but like, it's your fault that we're in this situation where no one can afford anything, and all your remedies for all this stuff is to give the people more money. But when you give the people more money, it screws up the market because there's an influx of money into the market. Instead of deflating our economy, you inflate it, and it's constantly increasing from inflation. We want deflation. And like, everyone's like, oh no, we can't have that. Yes, because your retirement funds won't be like that anymore. But the problem is, housing is too expensive. And the reason why housing is too expensive is because you inflated all the prices of everything. You need to stop doing that. But yet, that's the solution every damn time. You can't grow yourself out of a crumbling economy like this. You're going to end up making everyone homeless. And I bet you most likely that is exactly what they want. So BlackRock can move in and buy up everything. And we're all just sitting there saying, well, we want homes. When I am old, and I consider myself very wealthy, even though I'm not, but I'm very wealthy because I do have a home. I do have a place to lay my head at night, and it's a nice home. I won't lie. I live in a nice place, but people, they keep saying like, oh, well, the government needs to give us more money. No, you're going to be back in the same situation that you're already in. Like, my heart goes out to you people, but like, you got to understand economics, man. Economics don't work like that. Supply and demand. If you suddenly, what we need to do is build a lot more homes, and that way it deflates. But the problem is, these little homes that they're trying to build, they have this project where they're building these tiny homes. And instead of being like Elon Musk, who has the little homes, and it's like a few $1,000s, like I think it's like $10,000 for a house. Instead, they build these little homes, and they're like $50,000 to build. And it's like, you can build 5 of them. It just makes me mad, because there is no reason that we have the homelessness crisis like we do. Because he's absolutely right. We live in the wealthiest nation on earth. Like, there's no reason for the homelessness crisis to be as bad as it is, especially for the little guy who's actually out there, who might be disabled or something, or they have some problem or issue, and they can't get a home because it's too expensive, because some boomer wants to hold on to their house, and they have like 10 of them. And they're like, well, I'm just holding it on for generational wealth. It's not going to be worth that much. I'm telling you. When people have to start selling their homes because no one can afford it, that it's not going to be worth, the $300,000 you think your house is worth. It's going to be like $30K, Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's not. Maybe it'll be like 100,000. But still, that's a step up from what it was, And until people solve this crisis, because really what we have is an inflation crisis. Because they print money. The printer goes burr. It's absolutely insane. All right.
Has a very specific aspect of how they view housing. And if we want to attract more of a younger labor force, which Bangor and all of Maine desperately need, we need to sell ourselves better to the next great generation coming up.
The problem is, man, that Maine is going to be a vacation spot. People come to Maine for vacationing. And unfortunately, the factories are shutting down here because of all the environmentalist stuff that they want to put on things. You can't have the ultra regulation and have everything else. You either going to have the factories and stuff here, or you're going to have the regulations. If you're going to have it for a vacation spot, you can't have the factories. You know, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. That's the sad truth of what it is.
And we have not taken the steps to make sure there's adequate shelter. We haven't invested money into prevention and diversion. We need to slow the flow of people into homelessness. And we could have
that I agree with.
A really robust, well-publicized prevention and diversion fund, so that if you were about to be evicted because you needed $500 that you couldn't come up with, there would be a place to turn. We have got to slow the flow of people into homelessness, or we will never get to where we want to be.
There are doers, there's idea people. I think if you had the right bunch of people together, you could take care of this problem, but it's more not through a bunch of people in suits in a governmental setting.
Yeah.
It's people sitting in a community setting saying, this is our community, let's put this together.
That was the Sandwich Man. He is now passed away. It's sad that this must have been filmed a little bit a while ago. I have mixed feelings about him. There's a woman that I know whose son and daughter, they loved the Sandwich Man because they were homeless and they got all kinds of food from them. And yeah, he brought sandwiches for him. Problem was, they were drug addicts, and that's why they were homeless, because they didn't want to spend any money. There were two of those people that I talked about that liked being homeless, because that meant that they didn't have to spend money. And what they got disability, I think it was disability they were getting. I'm not sure, but they got some type of government money so they could fund their lifestyle. So all around, that was a bad situation, because they could do drugs because they didn't have to worry about buying food at all. Isn't that horrible? I'm telling you.
Quick answer, or no quick action that can fix this at once. I think there's a lot of people that want to help, but I don't think we're working as a group. I don't think we're working together as much.
You know what? I agree with that. And as somebody that works or helps a food bank in the area, yeah, it does. They do need to work together a lot more. The only problem is there's a lot of nonprofits in this area that work off of the homelessness issue and stuff like that. And they honestly don't want to make the homelessness issue better, because if that happens, their money dries up. And so they like having these homeless people. And so it's bad, you know? We need nonprofits that are actually nonprofits, because some of these nonprofits, these people are making crazy money. I remember one of them was saying that he made $300,000 a year that I talked to. That's insane. That's insane. And it's not right that people helping the homeless make almost $1/3 of $1 million freaking year. Like that just drives me up a wall, you know, because like several of those homeless people could have homes if they had some type of income like that. And I just can't believe that there are so many people that are profiting so highly off of this. And there's so much corruption in the homelessness industry, because I'm going to call it an industry, because here in Maine, in the area that we live, it's an industry. There are people that work, they get jobs off of not being homeless and stuff like that. They're trying to get out of homelessness, right? And these people that employ them take advantage of them. They work them like slaves. They treat them very poorly. They yell at them and stuff like that, knowing that if their paycheck is taken away or whatever, they'll go back being homeless. And that's messed up. And they'll give them a place to stay, but like they pay out less than what you get for minimum wage jobs, because of the fact that they include their housing that they give them as part of their income. And so that they're paying them for their housing. And so, like, on paper, it looks really nice. They get like $19,000. But then in actuality, when, you know, you actually look at what they're getting paid, it's not $19,000. They're getting like $200 a month. And it's messed up. It's messed up. So, yeah. We got a lot of problems. Got a lot of problems. Yeah. Any of the churches in the area, you know, I can't really speak for many of them, but I can just say that all the shelters and stuff like that, it's okay to donate to them, but I'm just saying there's a lot of corruption in this area, and there's a lot of corruption with the homeless. And I feel like they're not only are the drug addicts and stuff like that an issue, the exploitation of the same drug addicts are also an issue. And together, those things don't really add up to something good. So, with that, yeah, that is my video for now. Any questions or comments and concerns, you can write it down below. But like I said, I'm sick of a lot of the homeless people in this area. Some of the people I don't mind, but some of them, man, it's different when you live around it. And you know, they paint sob stories and stuff for them, but like when you're actually out and about and you're the one that's going to get robbed or whatever because some homeless guy wanted something of yours that they saw, it's a different story. It's a different story. So that's, let me fix my stuff. All right. So we're going to play right now. Ooh, microphone. Okay. So, yeah. Welcome to my TED Talk.
Righto.
There we go. All right. So, how is everyone today? So, if you notice,
I got you.
So I messed up on my build. So I had to replay the game up until this point. But I'm right back where I was. There we go. So, I was building a strength build before, right? That's the exact opposite of what you want to build. Turns out you want to build a magic. Right, pick C. So, yeah. So I did.
I did think it strange you weren't preparing to leave. How could you let this happen?
It should be here any minute. I sent the new hire to Sukurocho for it.
But I asked you to handle this, didn't I?
It's not my fault, though. That new hire is probably just off wasting time somewhere.
Shh, keep it down. You'll disturb our guest in the living room. You brought this upon yourself with your reckless, unauthorized actions.
Ooh.
This conversation is far from over.
Yo, what's up, Hamshot?
Huh?
What? Wine? I already sent somebody to the Sukurocho. No, please forget about it.
Out.
Help tried using the art of mind reading. The radiator of the thoughts can be heard. I asked the new girl to go pick up some things in Sukurocho. Sakurocho. But she's not back yet. Sheesh. I can already hear Mr. Nakamura. Nakamura's? Interminable groaning. It hurts just to thinking about it. Can't be open now. Sounds like I need to go get something from the dudes. Her face is deathly pale. She's in no condition to answer questions. With the right demon, you might be able to read her mind. Of course, I have help. Nice! I made a new fairy deck today. I can't wait to use that on Wednesday.
Why'd I have to listen to him talk about his stupid turtle? All I needed was the wine. And my boss is the worst. I always get stuck with the jobs no one else wants to do. What I need right now is for a gentleman to make me feel like a lady. Yes, just fine. I feel quite a bit better now. Thank you. Trust me. Here, you can have this. This wine came from the owner of Tawadaya. It was free. He said he got it for his dead turtle. But it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And it's heavy, so I really don't want it. I could go for a snack. Dessert parlor, here I come. If I get something with a strawberry on top, I always eat it first.
Righto. A letter has arrived from Yanagarasu.
Ooh. Read the bequeath unto you. Attached to the letter is 2 tubes confined in. Now carry 11 tubes. Pyro Akabak and Frost Order Petra joined the party. I already have them. Don't I? Yeah. What the heck? Yes. There. Now I have 3 demons free. So what type of decks are you making for Commander, man? Geez, those soldiers have it rough. They've accompanied their boss wherever he goes. Guess it wouldn't be so bad if we're headed for the red light district. All right. Yeah, Tom Baldi. Sephiroth.
Huh?
Oh, turtles, but stop asking me about turtles. I hope he's not talking about that turtle I found in front of the building. I threw it away. It was so shabby and dirty. It's not my fault. I didn't kill it. Nice! The Chatterfang Sephiroth, that sounds nasty. Hey, mister, are you really adult? No, I'm not. You don't have to lie.
Use your gun. Devil's Bane. Use your gun.
Come on. There we go. Good. So what type of Kefka deck are you building? I don't want you, but you, I do.
New face. This. Good.
What's your favorite thing? Perfection. Not right. Yeah! Got ourselves a poltergeist.
Use your gun. Here goes. Good.
Okay. Demon loyalty is raised ranks. The Herald of Yagatar has spoken upon you a new title upon radio.
For the cap.
Rado, Capital Defender.
It seems
What's
you've
that?
improved, Rido. Yatagarasu has sent more tubes. This will let you command more demons.
Right. You can carry 12 tubes now. Gonna open up some whoop ass.
Your turn. Well done.
All right.
Yeah, that's the one by Cracky. That color, that aroma. Oh, hurry! Give an old man his drink. Come on, just a little closer. Oh, that's the ticket. In fact, you'll pair perfectly with this kiddo.
Yeah, I know.
I've been alive for a few thousand years, Sonny. I won't lose to a youngin' like you from the Taisho era.
Spirit! No escape. This is working.
Okay, we're gonna summon something that can do some fire damage to it.
Jack-o'-lantern. This is lacking.
I give up. Guess it's the dawn of a new era.
Hell yeah. happening. You are strong. I like you. All right.
I give, Sonny. Just lay off. I'll do whatever you ask. Please.
Negotiate with a successful. Call that negotiation.
Hey, kid. Is that another kind of liquor I smell on you? I thought as much. I smell the booze on you, kiddo. Don't try to hide it. Oh, come on. Just a little of the old drinky drink. Down the hatch.
It didn't go down well with the demon.
So bitter. Why is it so damn malty? This tastes like goat piss. Is this what the kids today are drinking? These old bones are getting cold. I want liquor that'll warm me up.
Oh yeah. So, we need to find more beer.
Pardon me, sir. Master Kyoshi has instructed me not to let anyone into the living room and kindly stay away from...
A meeting? Probably someone from the military by the looks of it.
I do beg your... Master Daidoji instructed me if you'd kindly...
Okay. Where do I go? Oh, there's another floor I can go down. Interesting.
Use your gun.
Okay, so we have to figure out how to get over there. Yes. Oh, okay, cool. You didn't ask me for more beer.
Awesome.
Yep. Go get it for me.
Well done.
Get a bead.
Thanks. Let's go. Face. Good.
I'm a night owl, man. So no summoning me in the morning. Got it? So,
here goes.
Yeah.
It's time. Where's your gun? Devil's Bane. Spirit.
Skills have improved, Rido.
Hell yeah. Not that bad for taking him out. I don't like the sound of that. They're about the size of an infant.
What is it, Rido? This is the only spot where there's no dust. Good eye. Given how out of place this looks, I'd say it's a cover-up job with a few moving parts. See if you can inspect this place and find anything.
Raiju.
Raijin, search the area with spiritual energy. A book is heading between the bookshelf and the bureau. Pick it up. Yeah.
A diary. Seems to fit perfectly in the spot where there was no dust. I hate to invade someone's privacy, but we have no choice. Open it up.
Aya's diary.
March 28th. Weather, sunny. Uncle Kiyoshi's been a sourpuss lately. He's on the phone now and I can hear him shouting from here. I hope he's not letting those jackals get to him about the debt from the factory. April 4th. Weather, rainy. Father suddenly collapsed this morning. My uncle said we'd need to talk in private soon. It has to be about the inheritance. I hate that he's saying these things while Father's still alive. April 5th. Weather, cloudy. My uncle told me about the Daidoji family curse. He said all the daughters are possessed by a demon. I'm going to be 16 soon. Oh, please. Someone help. I woke up in this prison cell. Uncle Kiyoshi came into my room with a bunch of the servants and I don't remember anything after that.
This appears to be Kaya's diary. An inheritance, a demon possession. And Kaya's Uncle Kiyoshi was having financial troubles. I'd certainly like to know what he has to say about this. He should be in the living room.
Hey, didn't you learn not to touch other people's stuff in school?
No.
We watched you take a peek inside of that diary. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You're that devil summoner, Raido Kuzunoha, who's been sniffing around the Daidojis, aren't you? I was told to be on the lookout since you were investigating the place. I was actually gonna trash that thing before you could find it, but guess that didn't work out, did it? Not sure if that's luck or unluck, though. I feel kind of bad for you, kid, but you did read the diary, so this is what you get. Now I gotta kill you. You're gonna die right here, right now.
You punk-ass student! I'll teach your bones a lesson!
Oh, yeah? Okay. Let's go! Let's go!
Watch the enemy carefully. Defense is lacking.
Don't get carried away. Protect your demons. Don't get carried away.
Poltergeist.
Don't get carried away.
Agathia.
the enemy carefully.
Ukobak. Alp.
Ready for that?
Don't get carried away. Item.
There.
Damn, this is hard.
What? Don't get carried away.
Look out!
Watch the enemy carefully.
You must heal!
Wrong, Rhino.
Sheesh. Thing's really beating me up.
Watch the enemy carefully. That's just lacking. Don't get carried away.
Shit. Yes. Take me to the other side. Man, that took a lot out of my character. Holy shit. Sweet. We last.
And betrayed you. Are you really going to take...
Did you hear that, Raito? That was most certainly Kiyoshi talking to his guest. I wish we could hear better. That butler is quite the wet blanket. Luckily, a devil summoner like you has a way to listen in without being noticed.
Yeah!
This is all a misunderstanding. I just wanted him to see her one last time before I brought her back to you.
You're saying you let Kaya escape just so they could see each other? Surely you could come up with a better lie than claiming you did it out of love for your brother. Takeshi's condition is your own doing. You wished this upon him. Always being compared to your accomplished older brother. You hated it, didn't you?
What? That isn't true. I was doing it for Kaya.
As long as everything goes as planned, you'll be paid in full. More than enough for that factory debt. But you have to get rid of that detective and make sure no one else intervenes. The Kuzunoha, they cannot get involved. Fail, and I'll see to it that you end up just like your brother. And I suppose that girl as well.
So Kiyoshi was involved, but someone was pulling his strings too. Not only that, but he seems to know who we are. Well, I'd certainly like to march into that living room right now. But we only have circumstantial evidence at best. Not to mention we'd end up revealing our hand to the enemy. It might not do much, but let's head back to the detective agency and go over the situation with Narumi.
All right.
See.
If it was me, I'd use this to get... Okay.
I'm afraid Master Kiyoshi is still in his business card. If you had questions for him, perhaps I can be of assistance. As I just stated, Master, if you have any questions...
In the end, the wine didn't make it here in time. I'll get a talking to from Mr. Nakamura. I'm not worried. I'll just nod my head occasionally and pretend like I'm listening. Mr. Nakamura never alters his... But by his tone of his voice, choice word. The hell is it? I don't have it on auto advance. Alright, not Mr. Nakamura, poker face expression. But by his tone and his voice and choice of words when he talked to her, I can tell he's quite upset. You're a guy, right? A real human guy. Tried using Ignite. The horrified servant was rekindled. I hear a woman sobbing, and it's coming from you. What's going on? I knew Master Nikosh was a failure. I knew he would be up to the task. He can hardly do anything without Master Dioge's help.
Huh?
Aren't you getting a massage? We're busy and we'd appreciate it if you would... Okay. Can't believe our superior being so lenient with this guy. If my men were insubordinate, I wouldn't hesitate to shoot. Was that Master Kiyoshi? It sounded like he was on the second floor. He sounded a lot more agitated than I'm used to, though he's not usually that loud.
Inugami.
Usually introspective people keep all their stress bottled up inside. Well, he does get called lousy in comparison to Master Kiyoshi day after day. Take this and thank me. Alright. Let's see. There is a thing, bobber.
Raiju.
Rakuji chalice. Whatever that is. Okay. I hear military aristocrats together sounds shady to me. I just hope they don't start a ruckus. It's taken a while. That lousy Kiyoshi's being difficult, huh? We all know that bird brain will break down in the end. Kyo's so pretty, but I never see her with any suitors. It's probably because, well, you know, don't you?
Well,
I'm feeling it. Well, of course. It's probably just because Dioji girls turned 16.
Calm now.
Ha. Oh no. I'm falling for that again. A model of discretion.
Huh?
What's a high school girl? Well. That's pretty full of juicy gossip. That turned any reader's face beet red. Right in Sakia. Book of Booty. Legs are like twigs, though. But don't just stick to the elevators, you hear? Wear iron shoes. You'll build stronger bones. Are the guards special? Are they going to fight? Of course not, darling. The military is there to protect citizens. At least on the surface.
Jack-o'-lantern.
It's good to make romantic mistakes when you're young. If you work all the time, you'll never meet that special someone.
Hey, Rido, how's the investigation going? So the song you heard from that Rin girl mentioned an abyss below the Daidoji residence. And what's her name? Right, Kaya. She was locked up down there because she was supposed to be possessed. Then Kaya's uncle Kiyoshi set her free, but those red special guards took her away. And to top it all off, the bigwig Takeshi Daidoji falls ill, raising a storm over the family inheritance. Well, Kiyoshi's the most obvious suspect in all this, what with his massive factory debt and all. But he must have had some kind of accomplice. Gotta be that guest he was talking to in the living room. Not only can this accomplice use demons, but he knows who you are, Rido. Whoever he is, I'd be willing to bet he could tell us where the girl is right now. Matter of fact, Kiyoshi is alone now. Maybe this is a good time to make contact. From the looks of it, this accomplice of his is dangerous. We'll worry about him after you finish with Kiyoshi.
Well now, sound advice, Narumi. I agree with him, Rido. Let's find out what Kiyoshi knows first.
All right, I'll check for suspicious activity in the military. See if I can't find out who that guest was.
Yay!
All right, see you later.
So we get to go back now and... Oh. Those fumes, those noises, I feel faint. Life is something you have to walk through on your own 2 feet. How about it, Rido, dear? Up for a lap or two around town. Wow.
Hey.
The red cape isn't real, right? There's no such thing, right? It's a lie, right? Right, Mommy? Mommy doesn't know either. She's never seen him. Maybe we'll see him today, though. Anything's possible. What? Red cape guy. What's under his cape? Look at her skirts to capes. Love the way they flutter on a walk. Alright.
Detective.
Simple and honest, but he's got a dark side too. You've heard the rumor, right? Mind filling me in?
No.
Of course. I mean, Kiyoshi, that older,
Calm
are actually. Oh no. I'm not falling for that. I'm a model of discretion.
Ready for this?
She a geisha or something like that? Elp tried using the art of mind reading. I wonder if it's an inferiority complex towards his older brother. Even then, Kiyoshi wanting to Kashi dead is a little hard to swallow.
Well, it's like this.
The army pulled out of the OG rift, and it's the army and aristocrats together. It's always been shady when powerful men meet in private.
What?
As long as the newspaper act like the voice of the people, there is nothing to fear from the government. Bring on the next revolution. Okay? Yikes! What's Nakamura doing? That's rather vulgar dance. He was the one who told us to maintain our poise in front of our guests.
Huh?
What happened to Nakamura in the living room? He's visibly upset, and frankly, that's a little scary. What on earth happened in there? Appears to be a disturbance in the foyer. I'd best stay put until things settle down. It was too late to notice. There's a haunted mansion. Haunted mansion. Game over, man. Game over. Man in the living room, Mr. Kiyoshi, right? Isn't it? Please tell me it's him. After Master Kiyoshi ended our guest meeting, he pulled himself up in the living room. It seems he's upset the guest. If only Master Daijo had been there. Right? Master Kiyoshi pretty pushed. He kept rumbling the back of his neck. Rubbing the back of his neck. He must have been so tense in that business meeting that he pinched a nerve. He's been acting strange since he met with the Master Kiyoshi in the living room. I think Nakamura is under a lot of pressure from all sides, and it's driving him batty. Are acting equally hostile towards Master Dodoji and Master Kiyoshi. He's stewing because Master Kiyoshi isn't as good as Master Dioji.
Master Kiyoshi, he's become I've had the privilege of serving in this mansion for many decades, but this? What should I tell Master Daidoji?
This is all wrong. How could I let it turn out like this? Do you know what happens to daughters of the Daidoji family? When they turn 16, they're possessed by a demon. I wanted to stop my brother from killing Kaya. I really believed she could be saved, that my people could be saved. I was a fool to trust that military snake. My factory, my workers. All I wanted to do was save them.
Oh no, is he gonna commit seppuku? Nope. Hell. Alright, fine.
As if getting the Dark Realm involved will do him any good. Righto, let's get after Kiyoshi.
Tsuchigumo and Gashadokuro were supposed to be warnings.
What the hell is this? Is he Rasputin or something?
Yet you continued and learned things you were never meant to learn.
Dude's clearly Russian, and he looks like Rasputin. What the hell?
It would be problematic for me if I simply let you leave now. I'm afraid this is it for you. Now that you've made an enemy of me, you will die here.
What? What the hell's going on?
You crazy tricks! Don't fool me! I'll just close my eyes.
There seems to be a power to be discovered within this blade.
Poltergeist. Pixie.
Pretty cool.
Good.
I shouldn't have breathed.
Ichimokuren's eyes open. Now, Rido. Attack your demons! Watch the enemy carefully. Protect your demons. Don't get carried away. Watch the enemy careful. Look out!
Agathion.
Audio Kusanova 14.
Spirit!
Well done. What's wrong right now? What's wrong right now? Heal!
Here goes.
Look out! Your defense is lacking. Protect your demons. Look out! What's wrong, Rhino?
Jack-o'-lantern. Out.
Ready for this?
Protect your demons. Defense is lacking. Watch the enemy carefully. Look out!
What the hell?
Must heal. enemy carefully. Protect your demons! That's his locking. Look out!
Let's try this again. It's gonna be so much easier once I get through this.
Pixie. Agathia.
Pretty cool. Ichimokuren's eyes are... Look out! Watch the enemy carefully. Look out!
Won't let me do my healing.
Protect your demons! Look out!
Well done.
Look out!
Pixie. Agathion.
Don't get carried away!
Spirit!
That's what I'd expect.
Pixie.
Watch the enemy carefully. There's more. Defense is lacking. Rolling right up. Watch the enemy careful. Look out! Don't get carried away. Look out! Look out!
Okay.
Rolling right up.
Pixie.
There's more.
Agathion.
Watch the enemy careful. Protect your demons. Defense is lacking. Protect your demons.
Pixie.
Rolling right up.
Agathion.
Look out! You must heal! Defense is lacking. It's rolling right up. Let's heal! Defense is lacking. No! Look out! It's What's wrong, Ryder?
Come on! Ah!
Look out! Lance is lacking.
You gotta be kidding me! Look how much life he had left! Oh my gosh!
Kuzu no Ha the 14th. Right, oh Kuzu no Ha the 14th. How shameful. You bring us great disappointment. Your abilities, they pay. I am the god.
Okay.
Jack-o'-lantern. Pixie.
Watch the enemy carefully.
Very good.
Ichimokuren's.
He is weak to electricity.
Protect your demons. You must heal. Protect your demons.
It's so much bullshit.
Watch the enemy carefully. Protect your demons.
Dudes, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna have to level up some.
Protect your demons. You must heal.
So, I'm going to purposely let myself die so we can watch a nice little video. Yeah. That's way too crazy hard. I'm only doing like 2 damage. Which is ridiculous. Yeah.
Go, Rhino! Don't get carried away! Go, Rhino!
Devil's Bane. Don't get carried away.
Okay. So we'll get to watch the ending thing and then.
Kuzunoha the 14th. Right-o Kuzunoha the 14th. How shameful. You bring us great disappointment. Your abilities.
We'll pick up tomorrow where I left off.
Predecessors.
Naming you the next Raido Kuzunoha would be a grave mistake. We have no choice. You've slandered the sacred name of Raido.
Be gone!
Oh, they just made him go away? Weird.
Raido!
Alright, well. That's all for me for tonight. I gotta get up, go to church in the morning anyways, so we'll catch you guys later. Remember, help everyone you can and try to be friendly to people, you know? Love you guys. Catch you guys later. See ya.